here. We're gonna do this quarter panel today. I'm ready to hit it. We're gonna get that bad boy off. So I'm getting these parts out of the back of the truck. And this car, up in the northwest here, we get a lot of rain, a lot of moisture, and a lot of moss. And if you don't wash your car semi-regularly, you get all kinds of nasty moss in the crevices of your car. So anyways, I'm just going to clean all these parts down, see what I got. But you can tell, that's a nice door. And I got this, a lot of people wanted up to like $350 plus for this door. And I got this bad boy for $125. And the only thing it didn't come with was the glass, which I have my own glass. Even all the window motors, regulators, all the locks, all that stuff's in there. So I'll have to obviously replace the handle, because so my keys will match. But I'm gonna plug later, not now, but later, I'm gonna plug in this door to the electronics and see if the windows work. If the windows work, I don't even have to change the inside of this stuff. I just put the glass in there and go at it. So obviously I have to repaint it and all that good stuff. The rubber on it's a little worn out, so I'll use the one off my car because it's much better. But right now I'm just getting these parts cleaned up and ultimately getting ready to get that quarter panel off. Car is pulled out, so I got a little bit of room in here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all this crud up. It's so dirty. And see, I was talking about the moss. That, you know, we love it green up here. We love all the trees, but that's one of the things we have to deal with. But if you wash your car, it's not a big a deal. So someone didn't wash the car very much, but that's okay, because this panel is awesome. I think I'm looking at it in the whole panel, in the whole area, there's only one little teeny tiny little, where's that at? Right there somewhere. Teeny tiny little nick. Other than that, I don't see anything. It's like breakfast break. Yes, I started before. They're good. They're good. A life hack. Tie that bee together and unplug it in. Then when you're pulling it all around the shop, it won't be coming unplugged every 5 minutes. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this stuff's pretty dusty. You might want to grab a dust mask too. Nice, look at that. Oh, are you gonna come out or what? Alright, so I'm starting to do the seam right here, and you can tell it's just that filler, that epoxy, whatever you call it. I'm taking a little too much metal off with that grinding wheel, so I'm gonna find a different way to do it, because I don't want to take too much metal off there. But you can see that's what it is. I could probably take a lot of it out of, I don't know, grinding wheel. We'll see. I'm gonna work on that. But so far, off to a good start. I like it. Okay, so got all along here. I don't really need to grind this part because it doesn't have any coating on it or anything, so those will be easy. These ones are up here. Getting those. Nice, got those. Then it comes down to here. And then we got this little rail right here. And now I was just doing this part and I realized there is one little tiny spot that I will have to cut and weld that'll be visible to the outside. But that's it. So, all in all, I'm considering myself pretty lucky. You could see where they welded it from the factory. It just comes in here. It goes right around here and back and then along here, which might mean right here I might need to be a weld too and not epoxy, so we'll see. But I think it's the epoxy still, just like the up front. You can kind of see how it's kind of wavy right there, which I think it is, so I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so we're learning some more. This is not epoxy, that is another weld. So again, not a big deal. I got my little body saw and I got a grinder, and I just don't think it'll be too big a deal. But that is welded all the way up to there, so that's fine. And the other thing is that all these along here, the rivet's back on the other side. I mean, not the rivet, the spot welds. So I'm going to try to locate them and drill them out from this side. And see how that goes. Because it'd be a lot easier for me to weld on this side than it would be back over here. So we'll see how that goes. I still got to get the window out, the rest of that crap too. So alright, got the window down. I still haven't figured out how to get it out, but I got enough to where I can get it out of my way, and then when I take the skin off, I'll be able to see how I better take the window off. That'll help me on the other car. So I'm going to clean all this off. I do that part right there, around there, in there, see if that's a weld or epoxy. And then I don't know that I'm going to grind off this. These are all very visible, so I don't even really need to do much to grinding. I just cut those spot welds out. And then bam, once we get there, we're all the way around the panel, baby. Through everything. I got that. So it wasn't just epoxied in. It's got welds, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, you want the structure to be strong. You got to have some welds. I'm gonna have a hard time getting those welds out of that little crevice. Probably have to get like some little Dremel style thing or something to cut those welds free. But I'm not too worried about it. It's gonna be okay. So the next step that I'm doing is doing the punches on the spot welds. Bam, right there. So that'll center our little where are we at? Well, the spot weld cutter. I'll show you in a minute. I'm just going to hit the center holes in every single one, all the way across, and then we'll be cutting spot welds. Alright, got all the center punches done all the way across the panel. The only place that's going to suck really bad is in here. These parts in here are going to suck. Those are going to be really hard to get off. And now that I'm thinking about it, I got these two. So these ones won't be so bad. These ones, with the way there's not much room to get a drill in there, so it's going to be interesting trying to get those off. And I cannot get them from the other side, so we'll see how that goes. Another thing I was going to say is if you're doing this kind of job, like, you know, getting all the undercoating off and clearing this out, make sure you have a wire wheel. This thing was awesome. If you don't have one, go to Harbor Freight. They're like $3-4 tops, or any hardware store for that matter. This thing saves so much time. It was awesome. And at first I thought it was chewing up the metal, but really not. It just takes off the paint and everything else and then just leaves a smooth finish on the metal. Anyways, pretty sweet. So now the time has come for the spot weld cutting. Okay, we got some drilled out here, and I gotta say, that tool is freaking awesome. I cannot believe how easy it makes this. So it just cuts it right out perfectly. It's beautiful, and it just takes a second. And I've already done all these, and it's still cutting sharp. Not only that, it has the one side, and then once that gets dull, which mine's still cutting great after all the ones I've done, you turn it around and it's got another go for it. I kind of freaked out on this one because I punched all the way through, and then I realized, who cares? This one doesn't matter. In fact, if it was easier, after I did that, I did this one too. I said if it's easier, hell, just freaking, it doesn't matter, because I'm not going to use this. On the other car, I'm going to have to be a lot more careful about that. I don't want to do that because I want to have that metal to weld to. So I'm just going to see how we are going. I took this off. This was clamped up there. See, we're already... See, already I think that... Look at that. See that? It's already through. It's going to be just like that all the way through. Might have to get that a little bit more. No, see, look, it's through. This is a great tool right here too. It's going to make it fantastically easy. So I'm just going to go and do them all, but I just wanted to show you the progress I'm making because I'm pretty excited. This thing's awesome. $5. I got 2 just because I didn't know how far it was going to cut. But for $5, if I had to buy 2 more, I'd still be fine, but it's going to be great. Awesome. Just wanted to take another clip here. So I was kind of worried about this section because whereas the rest of the car had all the little dimples on the outside, this had them all on the inside, but I want to try to avoid that because the soft top's there and I want to try not to take it out if I don't have to. So if this is just metal and I'm working only on the outside, I'm not worried about that soft top. I can, the convertible top, I can shield it and I think it'll be okay. So I was kind of worried about getting this just right and be able to locate it right, but I've done a few now and it's awesome. I would just kind of put my finger there and I felt where it was and I made the punch and I did it, and literally as it goes through, as soon as it gets through this top layer, you feel it just go poof. It just pushes back a little bit, poof, poof, and it's perfect. So I'm going to be able to do this on this panel and the one on the car, and it's going to be super easy and it's going to turn out great. I'm so excited about that because I was kind of worried about that. Also this one was kind of hard to get to because the way the drill's set up, when I put it in there, the black piece, the black part of the drill, the chuck part, was hitting it. I couldn't get it straight. So I just put this little extension on there and it made it to where I could just get it straight, and I was able to get them all out. It worked out pretty good. So I'm going to get the rest of these out. Okay, plugging along on this. So everything's been going pretty good. I got to a point where I had a hard time putting a really good punch in each spot because I don't want to bend this up and it's not real strong right here. So I had a situation where these couple, the bit just wanted to wander around a lot. I was able to get these two, but they don't look as clean, and so what I did is I got a little drill bit, just a small guy, and just drilled out a better thing. I did it all along here just to make that hole big enough where the weld cutter won't wander around. So I'm doing these spot welds. Everything's going really well, but I just wanted to, I have my wife filming because I want to show how it's done, because I figured out how it's easiest done. There's certain little tricks that I figured out. So I'm going to just show you while I do one and help you out with that. So first of all, like I already showed, I have a good little punch hole in there. If that doesn't hold it in place good enough, like I said, you can get the drill bit like I showed you before. So you just put it in there. So when you first do it, this thing's spring loaded. See that? So when you start going, you want to get some decent speed, and you want to lightly just kind of start touching the outside of it. And if you push too hard, it's going to want to wander. So you lightly push it down, and it'll start to dig in. Once it digs in, then you don't have to worry about it wandering off. Now it's going to come to a point where when it gets through this section of metal, it's hard to tell, but if you look, it's tight there now, but you'll see it separate just ever so slightly. So here we go. that's it. I don't know, you could probably not see it on the video, but it separated. I mean, just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, but you could see a little gap show up all of a sudden, and you know you're far enough. And that's it. So I just wanted to show that. So whoever has to do. We have finished all the spot welds. This is all loose. Bam, all this. We're loose all along here. So the only thing I got left to do is weld there on this other side. There's a tack up there, a couple little spots. I gotta cut this spot and this spot, and this panel is free to come off, and then I can start working on the other car. So just real quick, I want to say, if you're doing this project on any car, it doesn't matter what car, I watched some YouTube videos where they said, if you're going to get a spot weld cutter, get a really good expensive one, because these ones will only last you 2 cuts and then they'll be dead. This is a $5 bit from Harbor Freight, and I cut almost every single spot weld before I even turned this thing over. And I only did that. It was still cutting just fine. I just turned it over because it made it a little easier. But I think I could probably redo this whole job with this bit again. Maybe even 2 more times. It's still cutting great. It's still cutting on the other side. So don't go buy a real expensive bit. Just Harbor Freight. Some things Harbor Freight's not best for, but some things you can get away with it. And this one, I'm telling you, unless you're doing 2 cars, just get this one. Or you just want to have one forever, then okay, whatever. So we're gonna figure out how to do those and get this dang panel off. Okay, found out some other stuff. So here's like the back of the car, the tail light. This would be inside the trunk. I was for some reason thinking that this was gonna have to come out, but it's not. That's not part of it. That's just part of the main subframe. So the only thing we have to do here now is these ones right here. 1, 2, 3, and then these ones up here. Oh, these ones up here we already did right there. So we don't got to do that. We just have a couple in here that we have to do. So that'll be super easy to get to. I'm actually really excited. That's a lot easier than I thought. Alright, so I've been working on this for a while. I hit this a while. This is a pain trying to get all that weld out of there. Tried grinding it on here and chipping away at it. I was hoping that I've got it close enough. I mean, I've got the welds down pretty far, so I was thinking maybe if I could get the rest of the panel off, I could just kind of peel this off right here, which I think is a valid concern. I mean, valid issue, you know, valid way to go, because this is pretty sturdy right here, and I know I got most of that weld out. So I don't know, but I still have up there to do too. So then I came back here. This was kind of like the biggest deal of the whole thing. Still not as bad as I thought it was, because it was all just one panel they welded together. So their weld was here anyways. It's not like this was one panel and this is where their weld was. So I just had to drill, grind out their weld. My grinder wasn't working, so I had to go get a little small cutoff wheel. But I had a little bit of a hard time because that bottom layer wanted to stay attached here. So I've been kind of struggling with it, and if you're not too careful, it starts getting bent up, and that's not good. So I'm trying to take it real easy. That's probably been the first sketchy part of the whole part, but I think it's going to still be fine. Now I'm going to be moving on to this. So this one, I think I'm just going to do this with my little body saw. I'm just going to cut a line, make a line, and just take it real easy. The only thing is it's easy to do it on this panel because I can just cut all the way through and it's fine, no problem. But see, when I do it on the other car, it's going to be a little different because I can't just cut it off. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do it without hurting. That's how I'm going to have to do it on the other car. It's going to be tricky. So we'll see how that goes. And then after I get that done, then it'll be that part right there. And you got little ones right here. that won't be too big a deal. So, I'm gonna keep at it. So, I've been struggling with this part for quite a while. This back part right here. Okay. And I just realized I totally screwed up. So this whole time I thought this was part of what I needed to take off, which it was hell trying to get through all that. It was a pain. Through here, this was great. It actually separated very nice. Everything's great. And then through here it was hell, and I couldn't figure out why. And I just realized, well, because that's not the right part. This is the quarter panel frame right here, or part right here. These are all the spot welds I need to get out. And I was going through that way, the hardest part. That is why you start on your donor piece and not on your car. Because if I would have done this on my car, that would have caused so much more work for me to go back and try to fix that. So now, I'm totally stoked because I'm trying to think, why the heck won't this come off? I don't understand. And now I know. I got to take these bad boys off, and then this whole thing's like pretty much off. All this is loose. I have a little bit more to do up here, but it's coming. It's taking a lot longer. Getting all the spot welds I thought was going to take the longest, but that was about the quickest part. It's all this stuff. But like I said, I spent so much time on this dumb stuff. So now that I got that, this is gonna be done quick. This turned out good. I got this pretty much off. I'm gonna have to mess with it a little bit because some of the main part stayed with it, which I'm gonna have to figure out. It's gonna be hard on the other car. When I do it on the car, I'm gonna have to be careful, and it's gonna be hard. So we'll see on that. That's the hardest part so far. So we'll see. Keep going on it. Oh baby! Yeah, it's been quite a few hours. Quite a few hours I've been since I last videoed, and that's the main reason why. Oh, that was hard, and it didn't come out completely neat. But what I'll be able to bend back real easy, and it's all going to work out just fine. I really am scared how I'm going to do it on the other car because I had to jack up this piece to get that piece off. So I think it's a matter of getting some other tools. I need some better tools. I used what I had, and it got me pretty good for the most part, but yeah, this one was actually pretty easy. I thought that one was going to be real hard. But I had like a little triangle bit, a little cone looking bit, and it did pretty good, but it ground down when I used it, so I couldn't use it on that. I need to get a couple more of those. Maybe that'll help when I do the next car. So I was just ready to pull this off. The whole thing's loose. I just realized that I left one more spot weld, this little guy right here. So I'm going to do that, and this thing's going to be off in a minute, and then I'm done. Okay, so we learned something new yet again. I went to pull this thing off there, and I'm like, what the heck? I got the spot weld out. Why is it not coming off? And I realized that this whole piece right here stays with this. Doesn't come off. This is where the window goes. So all these were supposed to come off, and they're supposed to stop here. And then this goes with this, and the reason why is because this metal is the same metal that goes down and fits along the right here and reinforces this for the striker. So not a big deal. A little extra work. It would have saved me a lot of work doing this, but all in all, not catastrophic. We'll do fine with it. It's okay. Drilled that out. I'm going to pop that off and then just tack it up here. Well, I haven't got my welder out of the box yet, so I don't know. I might just leave it like that tonight and tack it tomorrow. But either way, not a big deal. But it's off, so I'm just going to pop that off, and then this whole panel will just float away. So. Oh, it's been a long day. I'm tired as hell. I think I came out here at 8:30 this morning, or 8 o'clock, and it's coming up on 8 o'clock right now. So, I mean, I guess I've worked longer hours before, but it was a long day. A lot of the stuff will go faster on the car But some of the stuff I'm just gonna have to find better tools. I'm kind of freaking out because it's gonna be hard not to mess stuff up. It took all that. This is the part that would stay on the car. Now some of it, I got frustrated and I knew that it was gonna get messed up, so I just started chopping away. So I can do it cleaner than that, but nonetheless, it was challenging. This one was kind of challenging. It was actually pretty easy along here. Just for whatever reason, this part got caught up. I'm not real sure why. So those welds are just... There's like these copper-looking welds, and you think, well, when you got it, it should come apart, but they hold on really good, which is good. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. So, you know, it's all good. But either way. So that's where we stand. I got the skin off the donor car. I wishfully thinking said, hey, I'm gonna get the skin off the donor car and the car today. No, not gonna happen. So maybe I'll work on it tomorrow night after work, and then Tuesday is 4th of July, so I'll have most of the day there. So I'm banking on the fact that I will get the one on the car off on Tuesday. I'll have a little less time than I had today, but I know what's going on. So I'm going to get some tools that'll make the thing go faster, and I think we're going to do good. So this is the end of this one, and we'll see you on